Hi Capricorn, it's your turn. I'm Walker, this is Dance Walker Tarot. This is about leaving either a relationship that you got into when you were really young and a bit more naive than you are now, or you're leaving a corporation, a long-term... I think maybe you're staying in the same vocation, but you might be changing companies or moving away from a very toxic environment. So what I'm seeing is like you leaving a business. If this is work, we're talking about work here. We'll talk about love in a sec. If it's not, let me just get this out of the way. If it's a corporation that you signed up for or you were really passionate about when you were young, and now you're leaving because of money, you're going to find out that it was affecting everything else in your life. So you were dealing with anxiety. You were dealing with depression. Right? Let's see. So 9 of Swords in reverse would be moving away from that. So either you just rode out your own anxiety and depression, if this is like way far in the past and it's not this week, it's the end of fear. It's the end of the nightmare. The nightmare is over. Here is what I'm saying. But you had to walk away from this corporation or this person. And I can't help but noticing that there were lies. There was manipulation. There was a situation where either a love bombing campaign occurred to seduce you, if this is a love relationship, if this is work. Like Talent Scout comes in, they buy you all the stuff, they take you all the places, they make everything look really cushy. And then you get in there and you realize that it was just to get you there. And that in fact you weren't going to be paid the amount that they said they were going to pay you, or the contract looks completely different than what you discussed, but at that point there was kind of no going back. That's all in the past. And you're going to realize that that boss or that place or that environment was destroying your sanity. It was chipping away at your physical health and abundance. So congratulations on moving away from that. Looking at the situation back then, you know, very excited, very energetic about it, with gusto, kind of a fearless, but a little bit naive frame of mind. Going to full clarity of independent thought. You know, this could be, swords are always about independent thought, but this could be going from we all think this to moving away completely from what anybody else thinks, how anybody else feels. The facts are the facts. Like, your feelings are your feelings, and that's a fact. And maybe before you would have let somebody I feel like this is a love situation. I'm going to kind of move away from the corporation thing. I think this is a love relationship, and there was some deceit going on there. So you had to go from someone who was kind of more open-minded to someone who has to be a bit of a Judge Judy as far as keeping people at a distance right now. It's not jaded, it's smart, it's wisdom. There's a clarity there. But it's almost like when you know the truth and you see the truth, a lot of people in your life fall away. But this is about maturity here. So it's like a lot of people had to fall away in your life besides this person. And let me talk about this person who you left. But it's very kind of cold and lonely when you decide to step away from the crowd or exclude yourself from lies, maliciousness, wickedness. Whatever destroys the world destroys your soul. And you were trying to tell that to somebody. I feel like there was somebody who would not listen to you. You were trying to warn them about going down a certain road or taking a route, or if this is a love relationship, you just couldn't get through to them. There was something about them and you just, couldn't get through to them. And you tried over and over and over again, thinking that this connection would bring you happiness if you tried hard enough. Or if this is a job, if I try hard enough, if I keep working, but there was never the follow through in the form of monetary compensation. So if this hasn't happened yet, no, I feel like it has. Yeah. Okay, so the Hermit and the High Priest. This is you. So wisdom is yours. You couldn't teach it to him anyway. I think he couldn't understand it anyway. Didn't have the capacity to understand it. Whoever this person is, they're very much still in the matrix. I feel like big time director leadership, but this is in a reverse. So this is someone who, I just pulled that for them. I swear to God, I was just shuffling this. So you have matured. You have expanded your consciousness. You have gotten smarter. You keep learning. You're a child of the universe where this person thinks they know it all. They already know it all. You can't tell them nothing. Whoa. You can't tell them nothing. So the Devil in reverse. What I'm getting here is you leaving somebody and realizing how much of your life had been taken over by this person or their projects or their desires. You got caught up in their desires in a way that made you feel like what they wanted was what you wanted. And it was chipping away at your independence and your freedom. And a lot of the depression and the anxiety, I feel like there was a panic disorder here that had nothing to do with you or your mental health. Nothing. Like if you're in an environment where you're being lied to, used, manipulated, or gaslit, or just your bank account went from, the tens to the fours. So if this was a love relationship, you're going to realize that this person was chipping away at your financial security, not just your heart. So what I'm seeing here is all the things you don't want to have to ever deal with in life, but it's in the past. So the Moon, we're talking about lies and illusions, not seeing something clearly. With the Four of Cups. So a neglectful situation that you assumed was one thing could have been another. I feel like this person lied about who they were in the first place. There was a love bombing campaign to come in and sweep you off your feet and then kind of lock you away. Like the Cyndi Lauper song, some boys take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. But I want to be the one to walk in this sun. Because girls, they want to have fun, right? So this was not fun anymore. If this was a relationship, it was fucking miserable. It was the devil. It was bondage. Or this person had a serious addiction and it was either rubbing off onto you and you became addicted as well, or just their addiction took over the entire relationship and they're still there. They're still there and you have to move away from that. If this isn't literally like a director or a CEO, whoever you walked away from, it's that. They got a serious problem that you couldn't help. And you realize that they were literally stealing from you. Or if you come from aristocracy, they were pretending to be aristocracy. You know, like, hey, we're all rich here. And then they marry you and bleed you dry. But in the upright, this person that you were dealing with, they're very charming, they're very charismatic, but they're very nurturing as far as being a leader. A patriarch of the company, the corporation. This person doesn't have friends, they have followers. I feel like if this person could have a cult following, they would. If this person could buy a compound in the desert like Jared Leto and mind control all these little preteen girls and whatever, he would. He would. So this person didn't want a lover, they wanted a sidekick. And I feel like they had several side relationships here. So I pulled some cards. I made these little cards, right, yesterday. Conceive. Let's see. Birth. Drinking. Okay, this person could have a serious drinking problem. Big time. Clue. Whoa. Whoa. Well, that explains everything. Okay, hold on. The first illusion, the first lie that came in was this, the ascendant line. So they lied about being nobility. Vertical lines usually look longer than horizontal lines. They're the same length, but there's an illusion there, an optical illusion there. So maybe they know how to look like they come from nobility. Maybe they know how to network in those kind of circles, sort of thing. And it says to conceive. To conceive is to begin the life of a new child, right? So this kind of person, they wouldn't have a child to love them and be a father. They would have a child to put them to work and use that as a resource. Everything in their life is for them to use. They really see that. They really have a God complex, is what I'm seeing. This person has a serious God complex. So that's a clue. The devil. You thought it was going to be a lifelong connection. And if it's not a drug addiction, it was a controlling, abusive situation. It was controlling and abusive. It didn't bring you joy and freedom or pleasure. It brought you sorrows, anxiety, misery, heartbreak, and an empty wallet. So maybe you thought that this was going to be your forever person, your lifelong partner. We get married, white picket fence, have kids. Probably because they made you think that. Probably because this is a narcissist who knows how to manipulate people and tell them what they want to hear in the moment. That left you feeling confused, afraid, ignored, neglected, and abused. Like I just say, abuse, neglect, heartbreak, all the bad things. But it's in the past. And this person might have gaslit you to make you think that you are mentally ill. But it's like the second you got out of that situation or away from this person, or that contract was up or you got fired, you realize how much of your life who's being affected by your love life or by this job. So, illusion number 2, and we have birth. So if you actually have children with this person, this is not a father, this is not a leader, this is not a patriarch. This is a self-centered man-child with a God complex. That's a problem. There's no vision here. It's whatever they want in that moment. They're very controlled by their desires. They're very stuck in the 3D matrix. And they ain't going anywhere soon. They're very comfortable there. They're very, very comfortable in that 3D. What I want is what I want right now. Pleasure over everything. People are chess pieces on a board. Okay, so my heart goes out to you, but this is no father. Return flight. Out as a goose, back as a hawk. So this person taught you a lot. If you want to make lemonade out of lemons here, you learned a whole lot about yourself, about the world, about love. Like, this person was an incredible teacher by breaking your heart. I'm hearing that Sinead O'Connor song, Thank You for Hearing Me. She said, thank you for breaking my heart. Thank you for tearing it apart. Now I'm a stronger heart. Something like that. Everything they did to tear you down only built you up because of your own courage, because of your fortitude, and because your connection to your ancestors, your guardian angels, and your higher power. You tried to tell them something. You tried to warn them against going down a certain path, and they did not listen. So if this is an addiction, it's not a surprise to you to hear this. That this has taken over their life. It's taken over their personality. And that's who they are now, you know? That's who they are now. And you can't have the innocent, childlike view of them in that way. You have to be Judge Judy. Look at them with the cold clarity. From a distance here. This is from a distance. And if you do have children, your responsibility is to nurture those children, not this man-child. That's your priority forever and ever and ever. Just remember that. This person's never your responsibility, ever, ever again. And if you haven't accepted that, it's going to make you feel really good when it does. But you have clarity now. And you had to grow some thorns. I think this person was supposed to protect you and they didn't. And not only did you have to protect yourself from everybody that they were supposed to protect you from, you had to protect yourself from them. It's like anytime you wanted to leave, I'm just getting like, if you wanted to leave, anytime you wanted to leave, they would make you feel like, what would you do without them? Who will protect you? But at a certain point, you had to look at them and say, but who's going to protect me from you? I might have to be the only one here to do that. I might have to protect myself from walking away from you. So if that hasn't happened yet, it's happening this week. Congratulations. It's going to feel really fucking good. Even if it feels like you have nowhere to go. Or you're really stuck now. Like if you leave them, you'll be even more stuck. No. That was their little game that they played with your head. But I do think this is all in the past. Congratulations there. But, if this hasn't happened yet, and you do have Sagittarius in your chart, there was a warning, a travel warning for the holidays where, be very careful if you're crossing borders. If you're traveling long distance, I just would not do it. Especially if it's like, okay, I'm going to go see my parents in a country over. You know, I don't know, maybe you live in Croatia and you're going to go see your parents in Romania or something like that for the holidays and go back. Or check out that reading if that resonates. Don't do it. Something about you not being able to come back. So if this is a situation where this person had you stuck in like a foreign land, you're going to be able to get back now. There's something that's going to go through with the visa or a permission. If this hasn't happened yet, do not go. Don't let anybody take you anywhere where you might not be able to get back. So think of it this way. For the next 2 or 3, 4 months, I don't know if maybe there's another lockdown coming up. That's what I'm sensing here. Wherever you're from, I don't know where you're from. But you're going to want to stay in the place that you're okay with being stuck at for like the next 4 months. So if this is them saying, I need you to bring the kids to visit me for Christmas or something, but it's in another country, and you don't want to stay there for those 4 months. You don't want to take the risk of being stuck there for those 4 or 5 months with this person in that country, with your parents, with that corporation. Do not go. Do everything you need to do to not let that happen. So make sure that you are right now where you're okay with being for the next 4 months or something. When it comes to traveling, visiting this person, if they're the father of your children, or visiting your family itself. So the illusion or the delusion that they were trying to lie about or put on you here was about addictions that they didn't want to confront. They would have lied about this forever. Like if they could have just lied about it and stole from you and chipped away from you and had their little drug friends. Like I don't know what that means, but they have their little drug friends. Something like that. Drinking. And spinning wheel. So this person doesn't just drink, they get wasted. They get, like, when I drank, that's what I did. I was like, I don't want to get buzzed. I want to get blackout, you know what I mean? And so this is never going to change. This person's going to get either blackout drunk until they don't even know who they are anymore, or that has already happened. So if that has already happened, this person's lost their mind. They're not the same person. They're never going to be the same person. And they are totally fine in this delusion that they're functioning. And they are not. This is taken over. It's beyond anything that they can control. And it's beyond anything that you can help. And it's like you might have not even known that their addiction was the driving force in their life for a very long time. Longer before they even knew you, probably. And they feel like they're functioning. They feel like they're doing okay. But what they're doing is hiding who they truly are. They've been hiding who they truly are to themselves and the world the whole time. Because look, the initial illusion, look at this. The initial illusion and the straight line puzzle with transsexualism. So either this person is a trans person who does not accept who they are and they're in denial, or we're talking about someone whose sexuality is being hidden. Their true sexuality, who they think they are, how they see themselves in the mirror. So this could be the biggest, burliest man in the world, but when he goes home, he puts on women's panties and makeup and I don't know, nobody knows and he's really ashamed of it. It's one thing to say, I feel this way and I don't know what to do with it. It's another thing to pretend like it never existed and let it drive you to the kind of addiction where you don't even exist anymore. Because, I don't peer into anyone's life because I haven't been asked by them to read for them, but if I could connect with their higher power, what they would say in their defense is that they're trying to cover it up, is that they're afraid, is that they could never accept who they really are inside, and they're going to lie about it. So they might not have been like the straightest guy in the world or the straightest girl in the world. And instead of going inside and doing the hard work and looking at themselves in the mirror, they just perpetuate this image that's not real. And so the addiction, I'm hearing heroin, the drinking, whatever it is, it's because they can't look at themselves in the mirror, really. Because when they do, they see a side of themselves that they don't want to see because of society. And they hate themselves, really. It might seem like they're the biggest narcissist in the world, but they're hiding who they really love, or what they really want, or who they really want. So you never would have been enough. You could have been Marilyn fucking Monroe, and they still would have made you feel unattractive and unwanted. So it had nothing to do with you. It never did. And maybe knowing that there was this initial illusion of straightness or nobility or financial security or love. And they could never have been that person. It's like the mask is starting to break down, and they're the only ones that realize that they're not fooling anyone. So if it's not that people are starting to see this, the truth comes out, it's that you see it. It's that you can't handle it anymore. It's like you're not going to be left out to dry. You're not going to be their sacrifice anymore. So they sacrifice you and your love life to perpetuate their lie, to protect them. Who's going to protect you? Who's going to protect your heart? If this was an agreement where they say, okay, I don't feel romantically towards you, but we could work something out here. Let's sign a contract. This is who I really am. That's not what happened here. So this is about you realizing that it had nothing to do with you, and that there's nothing you could have done. That this person is kind of a lost soul. They're lost in their own delusions. When they're chasing something that they're told to want, and trying to be the most ambitious big shot, with that God complex. This is like a king baby God complex. So they've got a God complex, but they want to boss you around and then have you nurture them like a mother, provide for them, make sure that they're happy, secure, fed, whatever, and feeding this addiction too? No, ma'am. What's a clue? Tower. So this person, a birthmark would be a clue, and what's about to happen to them is the Tower. So birthmark, a blemish or mark on the body, abnormal. So they might have like an abnormal birthmark, maybe where no one else can see or something. I don't know. That's a clue. But for them, it's all about to come crashing down. So the Tower is about, building a house on sand. You don't build your house on sand. It's not a firm foundation. It's going to get swept back into the ocean. So they were trying to build a firm foundation on sand. Lie to you about who they were. Break your heart. Take from you. And have really no guilt or shame about it. With the reverse, the King of Wands, there's no guilt. There's no shame. There. Really. They're just going to stay stubborn. They're just going to stay ruthless. They're just going to stay opinionated in that God complex. With this narcissism that it looks like they love themselves more than the whole world, but really they hate themselves. That's the secret here, is that they hate themselves. because they can't really be honest about who they are. And the sad thing is, whoever you are, I feel like you're loving enough and you're caring enough and you understand with the wisdom of human beings in the world that you would have accepted them, that you would have maybe worked with them and loved them for who they were. Like, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, they could have worn the heels and the panties at home with you and you would have loved them the same. But they're completely in denial about who they are and what they love, and so they're just trying to gain power, respect over everything. You know, this is someone who would use a dark path to get to the top as far as the entertainment business, you know, so they would take part in agreements and sacrifice if it meant that they would end up on top and that they would always be getting work and they would be in the movies, on TV, something. So it looks like you've been the sacrifice up to this point. No more. The thing about sacrifice here is, hold on, let me get a drink. Let me take a deep breath. Okay, so the whole idea that the occult, or not the occult, that's a bad word, practicing Satanists, and I don't mean edgelord Satanists, y'all are the fucking beards for the real ones. Did you know that? You edgelord Satanists, you're the beards for the real ones that worship the Dark Father. And so anyway, sacrifice, it has absolutely no value. No value in esoteric terms. In the ethers. So they will trick you and say, you need to give us a sacrifice for that energy to propel you to the top. Okay, so that's the lie that the devil tells. Because you can only ever sacrifice yourself. You can't sacrifice a fucking chicken. That soul doesn't belong to you. You can't sacrifice another person. That soul doesn't fucking belong to you. You can only sacrifice yourself, but they will kill people around you and say that that's what it was. They'll convince you that that was the sacrifice, so you go along with it. And then you're traumatized, and then you hate yourself, and then they really got you. And then there's the blackmail, and you couldn't get out of it if you wanted to. So there's literally no esoteric value to the things that the dark ones do to gain power. There's not. They boost each other up in other ways. It's all an illusion. You know, they'll make you think that you're a powerful wizard where they're pulling the strings around you and you're like, oh, look at all this magic I'm doing. Don't practice magic. Don't be doing all that. It's not real. It's all an illusion. It keeps you stuck in this cycle. It keeps you in hell. You can't do magic and go to heaven. This idea that the universe is chaos and we have to make order out of it with magic is a lie. Sacrifice is a lie. So if you sacrifice your mama to be rich and powerful and famous and get those contracts, I'm not going to say any names, guess what? You're still the sacrifice. They're still going to come for you. The sacrifice is still your life. Even if they kill your mama and say, all right, you did it, now let's propel you up. No. The sacrifice will always be your life. That's how they know that one of these days, the devil's coming for them too. But why would that be if you made the sacrifice? Do you know what I'm saying? It's all an illusion. The entire worshiping the Dark Father, satanic, vampire, child molesting, all of that stuff that those evil, dark, disgusting Draco do. To lie to people. Tell them that it'll prop them up, make them more powerful. No. It only builds you down. It only makes you captive. It only makes you a slave. You're only ever a slave to the devil. The devil don't have no friends. The devil don't have no family. And the devil don't have a lover. He has slaves. And it's only ever going to be that way. So the idea of sacrifice itself is a lie. Back to the Bible, it was all a lie. Sacrifice itself. Only one thing. You can only sacrifice yourself. So if this person signed up to sacrifice you, you got out of it alive. It'll be whoever else is in their life. It'll be whatever else is around them. And that'll keep them in guilt and shame and addiction. This is a cycle that they had a chance to walk away from and they didn't do it. So you had to take yourself away from it. You had to walk away from it. I feel like I'm not telling you these things. I think these are things you already understood and you were trying to tell this person and they didn't listen. Or they went behind your back and were doing this kind of dark, dirty, evil stuff anyway. All it does is degrade their soul. You know, if they were trying to degrade someone else to build themselves up, step on the necks of someone else, it's always an illusion. So they will end up dying in a pretty gruesome way. I'm seeing that, you know, it's, or, you know, like they have a successful career, maybe. You don't see the side, you don't see the degradation. And then one day the devil comes for them. So the sacrifice that they made to be rich and famous is always only ever going to be their own life. No matter what the devil tells them. So what I'm saying is you were a gift to this person's life. You were a beacon of light in this person's life. And they chose not to see. They chose to look away. So you had to choose to save yourself, protect yourself, and walk away. And if that hasn't happened already, and this is all resonating, it's happening this week. This person's going to lose their life. If it's not today, it's tomorrow. If it's not tomorrow, it's, 10 years from now. But when you sign those contracts, remember what I said. The sacrifice is only ever going to be you. And they can keep chasing that dragon for years and years and years, but the end will always be the same. So for you, I have a new adventure. I have you in power, you in control of your own life here. Maybe for the first time in a long time, you are the authority figure of your own life. Or for the first time in a while, you are able to build your own world or structure your life the way that works for you, finally. Instead of catering to this other person who is really only catering to their own demons. They're just feeding demons, this person. Oh, they popped up drugs for them. Okay. Wait, hold on. Drugs and what? Drugs and what? Out of nowhere. Rotate the card rapidly in counterclockwise direction around the center of the pattern. You will see a strange and perfect gray disc appear from nowhere. With drugs. Huh. A habit for many, a social activity for others. Started out maybe as a social activity and now they are in it. Man, they are in it. They are seeing aliens. They're seeing UFOs. They're talking to aliens and they're really just talking to Jinn. They're talking to Jinn. They're having some really nice conversation with some really demonic, evil creatures that are not supposed to be interacting with humans. And they fucking know that. So it's a blessing in disguise. And if this is a job, the greatest thing that could have ever happened to you is getting fired right now. And don't worry about what's coming next. Because it's like you think you're going to have to deal with this situation of being left out in the cold or stuck or unable to really... I'm joking. Damn. Unable to really move, but you're going to realize that the anxiety and the depression and all of those feelings that you had about feeling frustrated and anxious and the panic disorders, the nightmares. I feel like there's literal nightmares, maybe poltergeist activity, or just literally feeling overwhelmed all the time. When you really get away from this person and you're far enough away to take a breath, that's not even going to exist anymore. You're going to be coming from a place of clarity and power and energy and confidence. So the moving on and the weariness won't even apply. It won't even apply. And so your future is what? Make your own rules. What's that? Tony Danza, what sitcom star's film career had to be put on hold after going ape bombed? What the hell is going ape? Bombed. Something bombed. So it would be like a blessing in disguise. That seems like maybe you lost a job, or you lost your heart, or you lost your home, or you lost your job. It's all for the best here. It's time to make your own rules. According to ancient prophecy, whoever could untie the Gordian knot was destined to become king of Asia. All who tried failed to solve this strangely complicated puzzle. Then Alexander the Great had to turn. After fruitless attempts to find a starting point, he was stymied. Finally, he said, "Who writes this shit? I'll just have to make up my own knot untying rules." He pulled out his sword and sliced the knot in half. Asia is fated to him. What new rules can you make up for your idea? I'm going to leave that there. You've done so much hard work. It's time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Your wants, your needs, your desires. Okay, and if this person's still in your life and you have to run away, run away. Run the fuck away. In whatever way you can. Without guilt, without shame, and without worrying about King Baby over here. Worry about yourself. Worry about your kids if you have kids. Uh-oh. What is that? The Empress and the Moon and incest. Legally, incest means having sexual intercourse with a blood relative of... Wait a minute. So if you would have stayed with them, why is that there? Oh my God. Okay. Wow, you really dodged a bullet here with that one. So this person, like the devils will make them do things to prove their loyalty, to prove that they can do the most horrible thing in the world that disgusts them the most, and then live that. It's super gross, it's super satanic, it's super Aleister Crowley. So this person would have done anything for money. They would have done anything for money. And if they told them to rape their own mother, they probably would have. And if it's not that, if it's not something horrible, 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 horrible like that, it's something horrible, horrible, horrible like molest their own child. Bring the child into that world. Use that child's innocence. They think they're, sucking the youth from the child or something. It's like, if you really get down to the old vampire cults like Catholicism and the Abrahamic religions, and a lot of that in Muslim too. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. We are not in the point of life where we can make excuses for pedophiles, liars, and the kind of people that destroy women, destroy families, and destroy entire worlds. And your person, or that person, has gone down that path, or that's the road they're going down. Get your children away from them. Get your kids away from them. And get your kids away from any cults that involve sacrifice. Worship. There are no true gods in the world that need to be worshipped. God is God. You are in God. God is your heart. Right? This person has a really messed up idea of what God is and who God is. And at this point, I don't think they're in control. Keep your kids away from this person. Or if that's not it and you don't have kids, they have sexual relations with someone in their family. Because they were guided to, because they were told that if they do this thing, it will propel them. Right? And that's all a lie. It's all a lie. It's you do something to someone else as a sacrifice to the dark gods, to the jinn, to whatever, and it will propel you forward. No, those people that control everything will propel you forward, and you're perpetuating violence and misery. You're feeding demons, right? I'm not saying you, I'm saying this person. So if there was something weird going on with them and their family, like there was a sister or an auntie or, I don't know, a brother, and that there was a really weird relationship there where they seemed kind of jealous of you or something, that's a clue. They're really messed up in the head. Like this person is way more messed up in the head than you think they are. And they feel like they can make sense of the chaos in their own mind and heart by doing this kind of demonic magic. Solomonic magic. That you call it whatever you fucking want. I don't have any patience for it. And neither did you. And I think you could see it coming and you warned them against it. And they wouldn't listen to anyone, let alone you. You know, especially if they're playing God there. Then why would they listen to a woman? When women have evolved to be the leaders of this world. That's why having just all men in power, whether it be religion or otherwise, is only going to destroy humanity. Maybe in some other worlds, those people have evolved for, you know, patriarchal society. This world has evolved as a matriarchal society. So anything other than that is going to destroy society. They're chipping away at it little by little, and they start with the men. And I'm sorry if you're a man and you're like, what? That's fucked up. Yeah, it is fucked up. You're right. Don't shoot the messenger. And if you're a woman and you're like, oh my God, is that what was going on? That's what was going on. Or that's what would have happened in the future if you didn't move away right now, if you don't move away right now. But I think you are, and I think you have. Because all these really rough ones up here, the neglect, the heartbreak, the devil, it's all in the reverse. So congratulations. Today, tomorrow, next week. Wow, something really messed up is about to happen to them like next week. I could pull the tower again for next week. So tomorrow and next week, they're going to be in complete... They won't agree. So you can't sit around and wait for this person to agree to let you go. If you haven't gone already. They're about to really get it. The moon and the tower. All of the lies, all the manipulation. It's about to wipe them off the planet. And if that's really hard to hear, I'm sorry. Their delusions and illusions and fears, they refuse to see themselves, their own limitations, their weaknesses. They refuse to see that. And the devil's had a ball with them and their mind and their body. And it ain't getting better. They have to hit rock bottom. So you do what you have to do to keep it going, to juggle your finances right now. Don't spend any money. Don't spend any money. Be really frugal. Be really conservative with your resources and your money right now. Focus on that. Focus on your own feelings. Stay connected. Stay prayed up. Bottom line here. Keep them away. Keep them away from you. Keep them away from your kids. Keep them away. Keep those boundaries up. Yes, you're wounded, but you are a warrior. What's really yours, they can never take away from you. They can't take away your position of, if you're a queen or a king or a position of power or mother. The truth always comes out. The world will always try and right itself and balance itself out here. But they're fighting against that. They're fighting against that. So for you, it's a period of moving from hell to heaven. How do you move from hell to heaven? You have to walk there. You have to walk there yourself. And you might be there alone. We're born into this world alone. And we die alone. And in between, there's this situation where you're living in pain, where they would have had you suffer for the rest of your life. So you chose grace and peace and freedom. And that's a successful completion for you. A permanence of joy. You know? Does that sound good? So this is you moving forward with grace and dignity. With your chin held high. And your reward is all your dreams coming true. Yeah, so keep those boundaries high. Be unapproachable. Don't fight with them. You know, this isn't playing offense. This is playing defense. If you have to play the game for a little bit longer. But definitely know it's a game. And definitely know that there are no winners in this game. And if there's all this other stuff going on, with the tower twice, man, this is destruction. This is total destruction. Complete and total destruction. So get far enough away that the rubble can't touch you. And if you haven't moved away yet, who to trust, who not to trust. So if they have a family member or a father that you seem to be close to, stay away. Stay away from anyone that is friends with them, that knows them. Stay away from anyone that wants to represent you as a lawyer in the situation, but they're connected to them. Make sure they're not a part of the old boys club. Look for rings. Look for secret handshakes. Look for symbology. Who to trust. Who you know loves you. The pure, honest love that's never been in question. That's never been in question. Untouched by darkness. That's who you trust. Or that's who you have coming up in your life after walking away from this person. That's your reward. True love. That's what you want. Balance. I choose you, you choose me. A mutual attraction. Harmony. You get harmony, they get hell, because that's what they chose. All right, Capricorn, I'm going to leave it there. This was a random specific. My heart goes out to you. You did something that was very, very difficult. You navigated some very, very dark waters here. Of your own subconscious and trying to deal with theirs. It's their problem now. Let King Baby raise himself. If he makes it through this next couple weeks, which I don't think he will. So this is a downward spiral. Keep yourself away. He's going to try and drag you down. Keep your kids away. He's going to do something that they can't come back from. Where he's completely delusional, completely out of his mind, completely wasted, completely on, I don't know, crack, heroin, all the things. Drugs you've never even heard of. Okay? Because he knows it's over. Deep down inside he knows. All right, love you guys. Bye-bye.